Welcome to Coffee Chat with Lisa. Coffee Chats are spontaneous podcast episodes you will find in your podcast player anytime I have time-sensitive information or just want to share what's going on in real time with Organized 365. These podcasts will disappear as soon as the information is out of date. So grab a hot cup of coffee and listen in to find out what's new. It's time for another Organized 365 Blitz. It's time for the Adult Spring Break Blitz. This is the time in the beginning of spring where we really focus on what does it mean to get one space completely organized. I remember the first time that I personally did this. I was probably in my mid-30s. My kids were in early grade school, and I was just very frustrated with the fact that I never seemed to finish anything. I had all of these unfinished projects, and my house was kind of organized, but there were all these places in my house that weren't organized. There was no space where I felt like, yes, this one is done. Every space was kind of done. So I decided to get my bathroom as organized as could possibly be and call it done. I couldn't get the laundry room done because there was always laundry to do, or in the kitchen there were always dishes to do. And I just wanted one space in my house that when I walked in there, it was actually all the way organized. And I remember it took me a while because decluttering is easy. Like I could get rid of all of the things that I didn't need inside of that space. But to really reorganize the things that were left and have a space where when I walked in, I could get ready and I could do everything that I needed to do in the bathroom without seeing anything that wasn't yet finished took me a while. And some days I would walk in there and I would just spend 5 or 15 minutes and I would get rid of one more thing or reorganize something. And some days, like on a Saturday, I would spend a couple of hours. And after a couple of weeks of going back to the same space over and over and over again until there was literally nothing left to do and everything was already done, took a while, but once it was done, I felt amazing. I then set out to do that in the rest of my house. How could I get all of these spaces done? Not in the process of being organized or kind of organized or almost organized, but how could I start finish organizing these spaces? Secondarily, my kids would get some days off of school. They'd have cold days, they'd have snow days, they would have spring break. And every time my kids didn't have school, I became the camp counselor. But my work didn't stop. Because I worked from home for an income, I had to either defer or do that work other hours so that we could still have the income that I had coming in. Plus, my housework never took a break. There was always laundry to do, dishes to clean, spaces to clean and organize, kids to maintain, cars to maintain. All of that work didn't go away. But my time to get my housework and my for-paid work done evaporated while I became the camp counselor. And we would clean and organize the kids' rooms, or we would go to different museums, and we would do things that were fun for the kids. And frankly, by the end of my 30s, I was jealous. I wanted to have a spring break. And as I was approaching my 40s, I really, really, really wanted to have a week at home alone. Like, I just wanted to have the house to myself without any housework to do and without any paid work to do and without any family members in my house. It was the weirdest thought, and yet the older I get, the more I really, really, really would love to have a week every single year where it's just me without worrying about all the housework that needs to be done, like to take a week off of that, just get takeout and do all of my laundry on Sunday night and not again until the next Sunday, just to have a whole week at home where I could focus on finishing some of these projects, to get some of these to-dos done and off of my to-do list. If you're still listening, you might be resonating with this, and you might never have been able to articulate it this way, but what we want, ladies, is we want a week at home by ourselves to get a couple of these projects completely done. And that's what we offer you in the Organized 365 Adult Spring Break Blitz. Now, you don't have to take time off work if you don't have it. You don't have to spend a whole week organizing your house if you don't have it, but you can make this blitz work for you in a lot of different ways. If you don't have time to take off of work or a week to focus on organizing your house, then do what I did the first time I created this for myself and just pick one space in your house that if that one space were all the way organized, completely organized, not just decluttered, but decluttered, reorganized for function, when you were to walk in this space, there would not be any undone projects talking back to you. What is that one space? And it may take you 3 days, it may take you 3 months. It doesn't matter. Whenever you have an extra 15 minutes, an extra half a day, you're going to go into that space and continually go back to that one space until it is completely organized. And in the Adult Spring Break Blitz, I'm going to teach you how to first declutter that space and then to break that space into 3 distinct parts and then organize each of those distinct parts and then finally go back to that space and figure out what you can do to increase productivity and make that space as easy as possible to maintain so that it doesn't get unorganized again. Now, in my mid-40s, I'd been doing this for a while. I'd been an in-home professional organizer. And as I created the 100-day home organization program, which is part of the Productive Home Solution, that's what I did in all of those spaces. That's why when people get through the 100-day home organization program, they say these spaces are actually organized. Like when you're done with the first 3 weeks and you've done the kitchen, your kitchen is organized because we keep sending you back to the same space. And I've identified what are those areas that when you just blitz an area for the weekend, you declutter, you get it pretty much so much better than it ever was before, but it's not all the way organized, but we're just going to go ahead and call it done. I don't let you do that in the 100-day program. I'm like, no, let's actually get down in your kitchen on your hands and knees and back in that cupboard that you don't even know what's back there because you have to literally almost lay on the floor and reach your arm all the way back in there because it's not a well-designed cabinet. So you normally skip it. I don't let you skip it. This is that finished feeling. I want you to have that finished and done feeling at the end of the blitz. This year, I'm actually going to go through my storage. So I'm going to show you how I break my storage room into 3 distinct spaces and how to get those organized. You can do your closet. You could do your bathroom. You could do your garage. Over the years, I've done a lot of these different spaces. And this year, we're inviting you to come inside of the Organize 365 app as you go through this blitz with us. Yes, that's right. In the fall, we left Facebook and we created our own Organize 365 community app. And inside of that app is where you meet with everyone who's going through your Sunday basket or your workbox or you're in the Productive Home Solution together. That is where all of our communities live. And for the Adult Spring Break Blitz, if you haven't signed up for one of those programs that we have, we would love to have you come join us inside of the app to experience the professional organizers helping you along the way as you get each of these spaces organized. You can find out all of the information. Download the printables at organize365.com/blitz. We'll be going through these spaces live together March 21st to the 25th. That's right after the first day of spring. March 20th is the first day of spring, so our Adult Spring Break Blitz will be March 21st to 25th. But if that week doesn't work in your schedule, come join us anyway. Get inspired, get motivated, get the knowledge that you need so that you can create your own Adult Spring Break Blitz when it works in your calendar.